Music Within brings you the inspiring true story of Richard Pimentel, a soldier who returns from Vietnam with a severe hearing impairment and thus finds his life purpose in fighting for the rights of Americans with disabilities.
Funny how things happen. Only in hindsight do you realize how something can change your entire life.
I need volunteers to stay behind. This is your chance to be a hero.
I always wanted to be a hero.
You're coming! Ah! Ah!
I was deaf.
I can't authorize government funds to send you to college. You're deaf.
I'm what? It's a deaf joke.
We cannot plan the events that shape us.
Look like you have a coke problem. May I?
You better wash your hands. This may be contagious. You wanna sit down, Einstein?
Yeah, sure.
We cannot predict the moments that define us.
I think you two need to leave. You're making the other customers very uncomfortable.
He's very sorry for turning your customers' stomachs. That's obviously your job.
You guys can leave, or I can call the police.
Call him.
You okay?
Next time, use a blinker.
But we can all change the world around us.
I'm deaf, but I can see what you're saying from over there. My friend is not a retard. He's got cerebral palsy. See, it affects his motor skills. It means that his brain is perfectly functioning while his body's more or less useless. Think of it as the opposite of you.
You don't need to change their minds about people's disabilities. You need to change their minds about themselves.
This fall,
What is it that you're afraid of? That he can't work with you or that you can't work with him?
comes the story of a man.
The U.S. government wants me to create a program on hiring the disabled. I'll be training every agency, CIA, NASA, all of them.
Who gave a voice to the voiceless.
You don't have a clue how good this is.
And hope to the forgotten.
Americans with Disabilities Act says that you can't discriminate against people simply because they don't look like you.
The differences that you make, the ones of lasting importance, they're the little differences that you make in the life of another person.
Music Within.
The following short is brought to you by Urban Youth Worker Institute, also known as UYWI. The Call, directed and edited by Paul Sun, is a brief interview with two urban youth workers discussing their passion for ministry in Southern California.
I mean, over the course of the year, I'd been praying a lot. There was a lot of confirmation that God was calling me to come minister in the city.
This church is like a heartbeat for the community. And we're like the blood that flows in and out of this church. If we're not giving life to this community, then the community is just going to fall apart and die.
He constantly is telling me, this is where I have you. Initially, I think I wanted to work towards a degree in journalism. I want to be like this social justice freedom fighter through journalism and doing exposés and that sort of thing. But yeah, as God grew my heart for ministry, I saw a difference between my calling towards missionary work versus humanitarian work. So God called me to the mission field over here in South Central LA. We live in community with the people that we minister to, so it's an incarnational model of ministry. And living here in community amongst the people that we minister to, has really helped them accept us even. We identify with the needs of the community because, you know, the same helicopters that keep them up at night keep us up. Last year, actually, right after a drive-by shooting happened just a couple doors down, you know, I was able to run over and be there right in the midst of everything. And, you know, one guy got shot and killed on the front steps, and another couple people were inside and had gotten shot, and a couple people were freaking out, and I was able to go in and pray with people. There was a lot of kids there because it was a baby shower, and so I brought the kids over to the house and, you know, just put on a DVD for them, gave them some cookies, and helped them just kind of help them feel like there was some normalcy in the midst of all that chaos.
The reason why I stay bivocational is because I recognize that this is part of my calling. And I believe that he is asking me to stay in the school system and make a difference even in this setting. I can see the difference that I make in two areas of my life. When I'm in the school setting, I can see the difference that I make in the school setting versus in the ministry setting. So I always see this ministry here as like this beacon of light in this dark area because, you know, in the community that we're in Compton, it's slowly, you know, some days it's good, then other days, you know, you hear the stories all the time. The main thing that keeps me here in an urban setting is because this is the same community that I came out of. And I always say to myself, what would it be for me to be born in this community, be given all of the jewels that were given to me growing up, getting an education, and then leaving and going somewhere else where they really don't need me?
Ultimately, I want my youth to have a heart for their community. I want them to see that there's hope for their community, and I want them to be agents of transformation for the community. But unfortunately, a lot of the kids who do well in school, if they do well enough to get a scholarship, they'll go out of state or they'll go off to college, and a lot of times the main goal is to just get out of that situation and not want to come back. Thankfully, there are a few that I see amongst our youth that are really developing a passion to see our neighborhoods change, and I've heard them start talking about how they want to be the next generation leader who wants to influence the youth and tell them their story so that they can stay on the right path and make our community better.
You need people who are educated and well-spoken and have life experiences who can come back and share with kids a lot of the struggles that they've been through so that they will have someone to look up to so that they can say to themselves, you know, I can do the same thing. If he can do it, I can do it.
I think being in an urban ministry presents a unique set of challenges. I mean, I'm attending Fuller part-time right now, and they're preparing us for ministry, and because of the fact that there's so much spiritual warfare that goes on here, it causes you to constantly reevaluate. It causes you to go to God and ask Him for strength, and I mean, honestly, I'm always reevaluating my call, and every time I go back, you know, maybe sometimes I'm even hoping for God to change the calling, but, you know, He constantly is telling me, this is where I have you and this is where you are.
One of the things that I fought myself with is burnout. I get, you know, burnout because I feel like, okay, golly, I'm doing this all by myself. I need some help. And I need some parents to help me. I need other people that are involved in church to help me. And so I can't do this on my own. And so I get frustrated and because I needed help.
It's been 4 years now, and after my first couple of years, I realized that I was just getting my feet wet. You know, I was getting familiar with the people of this community. I was identifying with the needs of this community and the hurts that are attached to it, the history of it, and also the richness of it as well.
Even though there are many obstacles that you'll face, keep going. There's always tomorrow. You may not make a difference today in that child's life, but later on down the line, I guarantee if you deposit something into a child, it will come back in return.
Transformation is not going to happen overnight, and I've come to realize the longer that I've been here, I realize that it requires commitment to stay here for the long haul and invest for a long time in order to see the fruit. If you want to see transformation happen in a community, you got to be there for the long haul. I don't know, I may die here, I don't know, but whatever God calls me to, I'll be here as long as He has me.